A while ago, when the Jordanian Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi met with the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, he said just one sentence to him, a sentence that summed up the entire phase we are living in. Allow me to tell you that indeed, madness is what is ruling the world today. Donald Trump and his abnormal statements. China and its dream of leading the world. Artificial intelligence, which forced itself on humanity against its will. And Russia, where it has become clear that its war is not only with Ukraine, but with Europe and America as well. And the unexpected and illogical events happening every day in our region and across the world. And finally, the character of Elon Musk, which made everyone ask, is this human being who looks foolish really the richest and most powerful man in the world? All these details lead us to only one assumption, and I hope it does not happen. Reality says that World War III is at the doors. And of course, this is not my speech. This is the speech of the decision makers living on this planet, which has truly gone mad. For those seeing me for the first time, I am the truth teller, and I speak about everything strange and mysterious on planet Earth. In this video, I am going to tell you about everything happening in the world today, what is planned for the coming days, and you will discover that the lie of World War III has turned into a reality, and that there are people mobilizing, working, and preparing for this war. Because according to their books, after this war, the world will be destroyed, and for the next 1,000 years, they are the ones who will rule the planet. So do not be surprised by Trump's statements, nor by the actions of Russia and China, and do not be surprised that Elon Musk has become part of American power. Because all of this is part of their plan. Musk will become the Prime Minister of the world after the annihilation and destruction of all the governments of the world. And do not be surprised by what I am about to tell you now. I want everyone to share this video so that everyone sees and knows what plan is happening. Because everyone is afraid that in the coming days, not only the internet may disappear, this time it is different. Even the phone in your hand may actually become a useless piece of scrap metal. As usual, before we begin, you must know that every story, even if similar, is not the same when I tell it to you. Everything we are going to talk about in today's video might not have happened if Kamala Harris had won the American elections. But Trump exceeded all expectations and achieved a crushing victory. American society considered Trump's win a victory for the man and the American dream, because this human being, with his arrogance, his provocative personality, and his domineering and crazy statements, represents the American dream, which we will get to know in a real way in a little while. You need to know how the game works, and how something called a world war happens. If we go back in time to the year 1914, to when World War I happened, the story that everyone knows is that the war happened after the assassination of the heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Of course, everyone knows that the assassination succeeded by chance, and that the story happened in the city of Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia and Herzegovina. After the assassination, Austria declared war on Serbia, and after that, the planet ignited in a war in which all countries participated. But the question that nobody asked and nobody thought about is this: is it reasonable for a world war lasting 4 years, in which 70 countries participated and 22 million human beings died, to happen just because one human being was assassinated? The answer is that history and all global events confirm to you that this is impossible. And if you want me to prove to you that this is impossible, I will give you a recent example. At the beginning of 2020, America assassinated the commander of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, Qasem Soleimani. At that time, relations in the region were extremely tense. All the circumstances and data confirmed that one wrong move could destroy the planet. Yet nothing happened. And the matter was repeated again and again, and every time we said the war was going to start, but still nothing happened. That is why the idea that a world war would start only because one human being was assassinated is an illogical hypothesis. And believe me, Even if Trump or Putin were assassinated, it would be impossible for that to be the only main reason for a world war. So then, what were the causes of World War I? In short, and without going in circles, influence and power. At that time, the Ottoman Empire was in its final days, and the Balkan states were not under any real control, even though those countries were full of wealth. That is why a war had to happen, so that the Balkan countries could be divided among the great powers, and each one would take its share. The same thing happened with Africa. The situation at that time was very tense between France, Italy, Germany, and England over areas of control and influence. Each of those countries wanted to take its share of Africa. How coincidences happened like that without planning. From the Balkan states, and then hours later Austria declared war on Serbia, and after a few days, the whole world divided and joined the war. And you say, all this scenario happened by coincidence? As for me, I think this speech is worth nothing, and even rusty too. I see this speech as not true at all. The truth is that everything was planned. Everyone was striving to impose their control and influence, and everyone wanted to take their share of the world map. And as you know, at the end of every war, the parties to the conflict sit at the negotiating table and sign an agreement. And at that time, they signed the Treaty of Versailles, through which it was decided who would control the planet. Of course, the exact same thing happened in World War II. Germany, led by the mustached man, invaded Poland. The world split into two teams, and the war ignited, and all countries participated. Now, let us ask the same question. Was Germany's invasion of Poland the main reason for World War II? The war that lasted 5 years and killed 60 million human beings? Of course, the answer is no. Influence and economy were the main cause of the war. And of course, like every war, after 3% of the planet's population died, the sides of the war sat at the negotiating table and signed a new agreement for leading the world. And the story ended as if nothing had happened. From everything I told you, I want you to understand that the causes of wars may appear different on the surface, but in reality, the hidden and main cause never changes: influence and power. On 9/11/2024, Donald Trump's victory in the American elections was officially announced. This victory came after 3 failed assassination attempts. 2 of them happened openly, and 1 attempt has not yet been announced, and its details are still unknown. According to analysts, the 2024 elections were the most important and famous in the history of the entire United States, because the whole world was waiting to see who would win. Who would win would make a 180-degree difference. Harris was Biden's deputy and from the same party, therefore she was like him, and everyone considered Biden to be the worst president to come to the United States. Mistakes, blunders, illogical behavior, and very strange statements. According to analysts, this was the reason why the role of the United States declined and its image was distorted. That is why the world was facing 2 choices. Either Harris would come and continue with the same approach and method, and they believed that little by little America would lose its importance and role, and therefore China's star would shine, and after a few years it would rule the world. Or Trump would win, and the character of the American man would appear openly, and therefore we would be facing a real world war. Everything I have told you from the beginning of the video until now might not have been said if Trump had not won the elections. The reason, in short, is that the planet is now living the same conditions as World War I and II. But the difference is that at this time, there was supposedly no one like the mustached madman, reckless enough to declare war on the whole world. That is what logic says, and what everyone thought. But today, everyone discovered that Trump is that person. And now he has become president, and the decision is in his hands. Even in terms of economy and influence, as we said, the situation is completely similar to the conditions of previous wars. On one side, there are new regions full of wealth that must be divided and exploited. On the other side, there are new parties seeking to rule the world. The new regions are First, the European Union, which has become ready for division after Britain left it and after it entered a state of weakness. Second, the Mediterranean Sea and the treasures discovered in it, which have not yet been invested, and everyone is fighting over them. Third, Africa, which has come out from under French control and is passing through problems and conflicts. It, too, is ready to be divided and have its wealth distributed among the major powers. Fourth, and most importantly, the birth of a new force in the world represented by the Arab countries. The Arab countries, which despite their rise and growth, are not stable at all. And the smart one today is the one who takes this force to his side. Listen to me until the end, and be sure that the future of the Arab countries is bright, and they will have weight in the balance of power in the future. Let's continue. So I have told you about the wealth waiting for the world to divide and distribute. As for the parties of conflict, they are the controlling countries, and every human being in the world today knows that power is distributed between two sides, Russia and China on one side, and America and Britain on the other. As for the rest of the countries of the world, they are nothing but chess pieces. The plan was moving with extreme smoothness during Biden's rule. There was a possibility that the treasure would be divided quietly and without war. But when Trump took over, everything changed. The reason, in short, is that Biden and his party knew that the map of power in the world had changed, and they had plans to deal with the matter, but through peace and soft politics. A little negotiation, a little consultation, and it would be divided in proper ways. Meaning, we handed over the leadership of the world, but our share of everything must remain. And everyone saw that in the statements and soft threats that were happening between America on one side and China and Russia on the other. That is why all the statistics confirmed that if Harris had won the elections, there would have been direct tension between China and America, but there would not have been a war. It would have remained threats, laws, sanctions, and then they would sit at the dialogue table and everything would end peacefully. But the moment Trump arrived, the whole equation changed. The threat became direct. The decisions started coming one after another. Trump knows that China and Russia have become a force, but he said it openly and without going in circles. We will not give up leadership of the world. Either we run this planet, or it will all be ruined and destroyed. Biden was okay with a half-half agreement, but Trump said, us, and everything else can go to hell. That is why the tone changed and everyone began threatening with nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons no longer matter to anyone on the planet. And what increased the tension of this situation were Trump's statements before and after taking office. He wants to annex the Panama Canal to America without any law or right allowing that. He wants to annex Canada to America. He wants to buy Greenland from Denmark. He wants to impose sanctions on several countries. He wants to stop money and aid that America pays annually, worth billions. He wants to impose tariffs on China and many countries. And not only that, he changed positions and turned public opinion against certain people inside the United States. He is working to appoint a full team entirely from his side. Why? So he can do whatever he wants without anyone opposing any decision, neither from outside America nor from inside America. With the chaos Trump made in only 2 weeks, the countries of the world did not stay silent. First among them, China. China imposed restrictions and strict laws on American products. China and many countries took measures against Trump's crazy policies. And of course, do not forget that Trump had not yet completed 1 month in power, and yet he had already driven the whole world crazy. And the problem is that if you search for the truth behind all this tension in the whole world, you will be surprised that the real reason, in short, is a chip the size of your small fingernail, semiconductor chips. These tiny chips are what control the whole world today. Whoever owns them will own the planet for the next 100 years. Of course, the main source of semiconductors in the world is the island of Taiwan. 91% of the semiconductors in the whole world come from Taiwan. The whole world, with all its development, only produces the other small percentage, while the 91% come from Taiwan. Semiconductors are used today in everything electronic God created, from the smallest and simplest calculator or smartwatch all the way up to the nuclear missile and the warship. As we said, 91% of these chips come from Taiwan. Therefore, the real war today is not in Europe, nor in Africa, nor in the Arab world. The real war will be in Taiwan. And whoever controls this island will control the whole world. That is why in the news you always hear that China insists it will restore Taiwan and annex it, and America keeps threatening that it will end the whole planet if that happens. All our lives we have seen this in the news and kept wondering, what is the story of Taiwan? Why does China say, "I want it back," while America treats it as a red line? Between these major powers, there is a soft power that nobody feels, quietly doing its work, spending millions and billions of dollars to ignite this war. That is why I want the people of conspiracy theories now to focus with me very carefully, because now it is your turn, and what I am about to say concerns you specifically. I am about to introduce you to people waiting for this war and always fueling the fire of sedition so it ignites. And I am going to tell you their reasons. You will be shocked that the matter is related to me, to you, and to the Antichrist. But before that, you need to know a few facts. I want to give you some information that confirms the matter has become very close. Within a few months, the war will ignite, and the number of countries participating will be more than 100 countries. During the presidential elections, Trump openly said, "I will stop China at its limit. And if I become president, I will wipe Iran off the map." He made promises and statements that were all hostile. My brothers, as inevitable and important as this matter is for him, his official portrait during his first presidency showed him smiling, and the first decision he issued was to change the portrait and replace it with that picture. The man said, "This is me, and with this face I will confront the world." And the photographer who took that photo said that Trump copied this expression from British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, who won World War II. When Trump was asked during the election period, "Will there be a war?" he told them, "Absolutely, and we are ready for it." On the other hand, Xi Jinping, who is always smiling, told them, "If war is imposed on us, then we too are ready for it." And he said that all their secret and non-secret weapons are ready to end the war. The next day, Putin made the same statement and said, "If we lose the war, we will activate the doomsday system." The doomsday system, which is 50 nuclear warheads directed at all regions of the world so that they destroy the whole planet. If this were a fight over a football game in the neighborhood, they would not speak with this much ease and simplicity. Not one of them cares about the world. So that you understand, today, the nuclear missile system is adjusted automatically. In past crises, human beings were the ones who made the decision to strike nuclear weapons, and in all crises, at the final moments, the nuclear strike did not happen. But the machine has no feelings, and it does not care about the end of the whole world. That is why the matter is extremely, extremely complicated. As for Europe, its condition is miserable. It is trapped between two legs, and everyone is kicking it around. Today, Europe is facing two very difficult choices. Either it stays silent and endures Trump's crazy decisions, or it says no. If it remains silent, Trump will withdraw all their money and destroy their economy in every sense of the word. And if they say no, America will give Russia the green light, and Russia will annihilate all of Europe. At the beginning of February this year, information was leaked confirming that the Starlink satellites, the space internet company owned by Elon Musk, may be platforms for launching laser projectiles. These projectiles can very easily burn any place in the world. There is a huge rumor that says that the California fires were caused by Elon Musk, and the goal of those fires was to build a smart city in place of the burned forests. Meaning, they burned the green plants and destroyed the planet in order to build a futuristic city. But there is no evidence confirming this. However, as a precaution, the Chinese painted the roofs of their homes blue. According to studies, statements, and rumors that came out, they say the color blue reflects those rays. If you enter Google Maps, these roofs may appear clearly to you. And here we arrive at the most important question: who benefits from igniting a war across this whole planet? And the answer is the group of the 5 red cows. A year and a month ago, we made a video in which we spoke about the 5 cows, and we talked in it about the curse of the 8th decade. Then after that, we made a video about the Messiah or the Savior and the war of the end of the world. Since then, we have been going through a series that moves us from one station to another. The group of the Blue Star, whose name I do not want to say so this video does not get restricted, they have a prophecy saying that their state will not last more than 80 years. 8 decades. After that, they will return to wandering on Earth, and their unity will scatter once again, because it is forbidden for them to establish a state of their own. For this curse to be broken, they must slaughter 5 red cows. We made a full video on the channel talking about this subject. You may see the idea as ridiculous and illogical, but this is indeed what was supposed to happen. The project is known and public, and it has specific rituals. Great powers have been working on it for years. The important thing is that the people of the Blue Star have entered the 8th decade. If they do not slaughter the red cows as quickly as possible and perform the rituals, their state will disappear. Is there another solution? Yes. This solution is called the third abomination of desolation. And what is meant by the abomination of desolation is a great war in which 2/3 of humanity participate. This already happened twice, World War I and World War II. If the third war happens, more than 2/3 of al-Bashar will live through it, and 1/3 of them will perish, and they are the ones who will rule the remaining 2/3 until the Messiah or the Savior appears. This Savior is the Antichrist, who will eliminate all religions, and after him the Jews will rule the whole world, and the angels will rain on them cooked birds and woven clothes, and the duration of their full rule will be 1,000 years, and after that life will end, and they alone will go to heaven, because they are the chosen people of God. You may say, what nonsense is this, and what kind of talk is this? But if you go back and watch the video of the Antichrist and the video of the cows, you will discover that all of it is true in the sense that this is how they actually think, and everything they are doing is happening openly, and nothing is hidden. The idea is that the end of the 8th decade is near, and they have no time left. There is no solution except that the war happens as quickly as possible. That is why I told you, a few months, and maybe weeks, because the matter is extremely important. And if this war does not happen, their state will surely disappear. Of course, everything I told you is according to their words, but as for us, in our religion, there is good in all the good that is happening today, and certainly anything that happens will contain victory for the righteous people. Now there is also another topic with which I want to end the video and close it for you. It is necessary that you hear it, because believe me, you will see it in the coming days, and it will be as clear as the sun. Whoever tells you that the Sykes-Picot Agreement has ended, and that the world will be divided, and that our countries will become mini-states, and that destruction is coming, all this speech is part of their media war that has not stopped against us for years. Whatever happens, they tell you, it was our planning, and we are the ones who did it. All this so that you completely lose faith in God, and so that you always believe that there are human beings who are driving everything, and that you, honored by God, are just a sheep, they move however they want. And all this speech is not true. The media pumping and promotion that is happening is not normal. You do not realize how influential and frightening you are to them. If we unite and reject agendas, they will fail, and they will have no effect on us. Their only weapon is forgery, deception, and the media war. They never stop. The Orange Madman declared that he would displace the Palestinians, but when we all rejected this matter, and we all posted videos, and I was one of them, When we all posted videos on Instagram and all rejected it, he changed his words and said, "We will see what we will do in the coming days. Their weapon is to frighten us, and our weapon is our unity, to hold on to our morals and principles. We do not need more than that. I only want you to be aware and not to become part of a war that is going to happen. Be sure that this war will destroy and annihilate only the oppressors. The cup we drank from for years, the time has come for them to drink from it. The sedition they planted among us and the destruction they applauded will visit them. That is why I want you to protect yourself with worship, sincerity, and your principles. The coming days need men like those described in the Quran. And the reward will be great and magnificent in this world and the next." That was our story for today. I hope you liked it. If you are interested in strange stories similar to this video, I recommend you watch the video about the red cows and the video about the Antichrist. In those videos, I guarantee you that you will understand everything and that you will be aware of what is happening these days. You will see that months ago we talked about what is happening today. Tell me your opinion in the comments. Has World War III really come near? And the more important question, will it be like World War I and II, or are we facing a new kind of story we have never heard before? I will read all your comments. Peace.